We've gotten used to perceiving democracy in a positive light, and by extension, its pillars, like human rights, free elections, speech, and choice. Generally, democracy assumes that citizens drive the bus, and the government is merely the vehicle. For a democracy to be legitimate, everyone must feel like they have a part. But is this really true right now? Indonesia is a melting pot of cultures. In addressing that, its democracy is built upon a diverse range of political parties, which is admirable because it supports equal opportunities for representation, at least at face value. The reality is that forming a political party requires a large capital. For instance, for the 2019 election, Gerindra has allocated Rupiah 144 billion for their campaign budget, according to a study from NTU, showing that because of the funds needed, political preferences tend to side with the economic elite. In recent years, Islam has taken a conservative turn here, resulting in calls for religious secularity, rising hardliners, and Islamic identity politics rearing its head again. The growing intolerance culminated in Indonesia's first Chinese, Indonesian, and Christian governor jailed for blasphemy. Since then, crimes of religious intolerance have risen significantly. In 2018, Setara Institute, an Indonesia-based NGO, reports that Indonesia saw 201 incidences involving intimidation, assault, hate speech, and the sealing of houses of worship. The same study notes that most cases were directed at religious minority groups, including Christians, Confucians, Buddhists, and Hindus, and that from the 201 violations, 75 involved government officials. The identity politics at play continue to pose an immense threat to Indonesia's democracy as it slithers its way into the upcoming 2019 presidential elections. Leader of the Islamic Defenders Front, Rizik Shihab, spearheads the movement against incumbent President Joko Widodo, manipulating the anti-Ahok sentiment to rally support. The cleric claims that it is forbidden by Islamic law to vote for someone associated with a blasphemer. Supporters of FPI have shifted their votes to Jokowi's opposition, Prabowo, despite his militaristic history, proving the threat of identity politics to a true democracy. This is a typical example of how easy it is for a leader to accrue power in a democracy by wielding ideologies and nationalism and pitting people against each other to serve their own political agendas. The very platforms of equal representation that democracy provides also has the capacity to cause its implosion because of how simple it is for politicians to twist democratic appeals into pseudo forms. Even though Indonesia has executed election procedurals accordingly, it is neglecting its accompanying democratic principles of expression, equal rights, and diversity. When choice boils down to identity politics, an expression of speech can be punished by blasphemy, and when the preferences of the ethnic and economic elite receive the most representation, can Indonesia truly call itself democratic? This doesn't just apply to Indonesia, but to democracies all over the world. Benjamin Franklin related a democracy to two wolves and a lamb voting on what to eat for dinner. If we lose touch of how important it is for the lamb to be well armed in contesting that vote, then we are forgetting the true roots of democracy.